We have breaking news at the top of the hour. The city of El Paso is now confirming the number of COVID-19 cases in El Paso is now in the triple digits. We begin tonight with breaking news. The city of El Paso confirming an additional death due to COVID-19 in El Paso. Today, the city of El Paso is seeing its highest increase in coronavirus cases up to date with the addition of 2 new deaths. And that is Governor Greg Abbott just finishing up a live press conference from Austin on the latest numbers and new executive orders issued to stop the spread of COVID-19 in Texas. The governor said 25,483 Texans have been tested for the coronavirus. Out of those, 2,552 are confirmed positive. He said 118 counties throughout the state of Texas have at least 1 case for the coronavirus. 176 people in hospitals have tested positive. He said at this moment there have been 34 coronavirus-related deaths in Texas. We are following some developing news out in northeast El Paso. A pedestrian crash has left 1 man suffering from life-threatening conditions. We do have a photojournalist who is live at the scene and is bringing us this image. Let's go ahead and take a full look at the scene. Now you can see multiple police vehicles are out there. It appears that they are blocking off the street. This accident happened at Dyer and Vulcan in northeast El Paso. Police told us about this at around 9:16 this evening. Now it does appear to be a very dark area, so we're not exactly sure how much longer police will remain out there. We do know 1 person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and as soon as we find out more information, we'll let you know on kfoxtv.com. We are asking you to show us something good, and we are continuing to get flooded with these submissions, which, by the way, we love taking a look at. Support, especially when they're the young ones and they have that dream. Right?
They look good.
Yes. I know it's a different series, but I'm all about Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Yes,
Adriana,
so
we didn't expect that of you.
I'll take it, as long as it's El Paso. All dressed up with nowhere to go on prom night. One Texas family made sure to make what was supposed to be a special night still happen. The family came up with prom on the porch, and they let their senior daughter, Grayson, dance the night away after her high school canceled their prom. Their porch had household decor, stars, and festive lighting. The family says that they still followed the CDC guidelines, and I see that they also had some Whataburger, the Texas way. Despite being stuck in their homes, residents in Italy's capital have not lost their spirits. They're taking to their windows and balconies to sing for medical staff who is fighting against the coronavirus. In several neighborhoods, people are clapping their hands and waving the national flag, as well as shouting for people to stay united and strong. And we leave you with that tonight. Please stay safe, wash your hands, and make sure you're keeping the appropriate distance with each other. Have a safe Monday and a good start to the rest of your week. Good night. Coach Guillermo Memo Garcia died overnight in the hospital from injuries that he received on August 3rd. Tonight, we're getting a first look at the man who police say died after trying to run away from 2 Las Cruces police officers. Happening now, Joe Biden is being projected as the winner of the South Carolina Democratic primary. Let's go ahead and take a live look of Biden's campaign in South Carolina right now. As you can see, a crowd of people out there celebrating today's win. The projections coming down within the last hour. It is the first victory for Biden in any state. Meanwhile, some candidates are already looking past South Carolina and ahead to Super Tuesday. There are several local races on the ballot. We have interviews with these local candidates on our website, cbs4local.com. Just click on the election tab. One West El Paso street is expecting to see construction until at least this fall, but it is causing some headaches for people living nearby. CBS 4 at 5:30's Mills Hayes is live in West El Paso with how people say that this construction is impacting them. Mills. A popular Lower Valley swap meet is once again closed for business. This message was posted on the Broncos Instagram account earlier today, saying that they would be closed until further notice. That was the case when we sent out our CBS 4 photographer to the Lower Valley. The Bronco has not said why they're closing yet again. As you can see there, a lock was placed on their gate. We will bring you the latest on air and online as soon as more information develops. The first American death due to the coronavirus is now being reported today in Washington state. President Trump announced the death in a rare Saturday news conference from the White House. To help fight the spread, the U.S. is banning travel to Iran, parts of Italy, and South Korea. Top federal health officials are urging people to stay calm. President Trump says that he plans to meet on Monday with the heads of major pharmaceutical companies to discuss a vaccine for the virus. And now we want to send things over to our CBS 4 forecaster, Holly Bach, who's live at the leap year celebration in Chamberino, New Mexico. Holly, how's it looking out there? Thank you, Holly. Looks beautiful out there. Coming up next, gearing up for the census, how one group is taking it upon themselves to teach El Pasoans about the countrywide head count. Pink Day at the Park, how two groups are helping raise money for breast cancer. Next on CBS 4 at 5:30 on your side. A second presumptive positive case of the coronavirus now reported in El Paso. Coming up, what city leaders are saying about the person who contracted it. Plus, school districts across the borderland are extending their spring break. We'll tell you which districts those are coming up next. And churches across the borderland are also changing the way that they hold Mass. Coming up, we'll tell you what a local reverend says will change after learning about the second case of COVID-19. The little girl has been hospitalized and police are still on the scene. A charismatic young man. That's how loved ones are remembering a Las Cruces teenager who was killed by a suspected drunk driver. Today, city leaders say a second person in El Paso has tested positive for the coronavirus. This case is being considered presumptive until it is confirmed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And that does it for our newscast this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I know the COVID-19 headlines can be a lot, but of course, we'll be here tomorrow for KFOX 14 News at 9 with all of the important headlines to tell you about again. Good night. We're about 1 mile away from where the Sunland Park border fence finishes. You can see right here, there is railroad, and right over here, you can see the camper where the militia has set up the camp. This is where they monitor the area. One gentleman just stepped out of his camp. There appears to be significantly less migrants. Now, when we showed you earlier in the week, for one, the migrants are actually able to walk through this federal property, which is underneath the Paso del Norte bridge. We also saw some people lay on the ground and cover themselves up with thermal blankets. Señor, cuénteme, ¿qué le dijo? ¿Qué le ha contado su hermana? His sister is conscious now, so now I'm asking him what his sister has been able to describe to him from the shooting at the scene today. So he's telling me that his sister told him as soon as she saw the shooter approach her, she was able to pray. He says that his sister got on the ground and that she said she was going to let everything be in God's hand. President Trump is arriving from Dayton, Ohio, which they also saw their own mass shooting that happened over there. The president is expected to meet with El Pasoans today, be able to meet with first responders and thank them for their service. He is also expected to meet with some of the survivors who are still making their recovery at the hospital. The president is coming down out of Air Force One now. He is holding the hand of First Lady Melania Trump as they get ready to come down here. We were able to see Governor Greg Abbott be here to greet the president.
We need to do our job, which we are privileged to do. And then we go back home, and then we're the people who love El Paso, and we have to process that. So difficult. A young lady who was born and raised here in El Paso. It's been a very touching moment for her as well. Our CBS 4 weekend anchor, Adriana Candelaria, is live back at Ponder Park with tonight's vigil. Let's go live to her.
Hundreds of people right now, they are singing Amazing Grace. There are hundreds of people who have come out to be able to support the victims of yesterday's terrible massacre that has happened here in El Paso. The vigil started at around 6 this evening, and we have seen people holding candles. Now they have just lit their candles. Some people are holding up their cell phones. There are multiple prayers going on. At some point, we were asked to look next to us and take the hand of the person who was right next to us. It didn't have to be anybody that we knew, as long as it was a stranger, and ask them if we're okay.
Now, we were able to share that moment with each other. We did see several people shedding a few tears as they are still taking all of this in. It's just been about 48 hours and definitely still a lot of broken hearts here, and you can see it just because there's tears are rolling down their faces right now. But I can tell you, we have been covering this since it happened yesterday. I have personally been outside the hospital and today outside the grievance center, and I can tell you that now covering this vigil, hearing their prayers, has been one of the most soothing events that I have covered in regards to this terrible tragedy. And people just keep on pouring in. There's actually so many people that they are standing outside of the fence. There are El Paso police officers here making sure that they are able to keep everyone safe. And it appears that they just finished singing Amazing Grace, and now the people are cheering for this coming together that has been happening. We have seen several public officials arrive. We saw Congresswoman Veronica Escobar arrive about an hour ago. The emotions are running very high, and despite seeing some people shed some tears, there's also been a sense of a community, a sense of love from people who are definitely holding on to each other a little bit tighter. This evening, we also saw that people were writing messages on giant cards. They were prayers in English and Spanish, all wishing El Paso healing as the days are coming upon us here. The vigil is now coming to an end, and El Pasoans are walking out to the song Amor Eterno by Rocío Dúrcal. If you don't know that song, it is a song that talks about eternal love. It wishes that the person who passed away would have never closed their eyes. That song talks about how she hopes that one day they'll be able to reunite in the heavens so that they continue to love each other. That is the song that is being played right now by mariachi here at Ponder Park. They are, cheering on right now. This is a sign that many El Pasoans who came here to pray are now feeling better. This is really who El Pasoans are on a Sunday night. And even though I would not say we are completely healed, I would say that at least we're taking the first few steps to feeling like El Paso before yesterday. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar also spoke to the crowd, and it was a little bit difficult to hear her because we are at a distance, but I did hear her tell the crowd to repeat after her. And one of those things that was loud and clear is that we are strong. So, the hashtag El Paso Strong has been trending throughout social media. That is definitely felt here in the hearts of El Paso. It definitely took a lot of strength for many of these people here to show their emotions tonight. As I mentioned earlier, there were people in tears. They were crying as the prayer was going on. Mark Seitz also prayed with the hundreds of people who are here, and he was able to say earlier, there are many communities, but there are none like El Paso. There is only one El Paso, and I think right now the whole country is, you see that right there? Can you say that again? They're saying Viva El Paso, right? You see, this is our El Paso. This is the El Paso that we know, which is why, there you go, El Paso. That is why right now we are hurting so much. Right now, the past few hours have been a healing process for many people who have been crying throughout the days. Right here, you can see Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke is coming out. He is speaking with several people here. Earlier, as he was entering Ponder Park, we heard people trying to get close to him to tell him about their grievances, we keep on hearing it. Viva El Paso, right?
As we mentioned, 15-year-old Javier Amir Rodriguez was a sophomore at Horizon High School. The community came together tonight to remember him. KFOX 14 News at 9's Adriana Candelaria is live from the vigil that was held in his honor tonight. Adriana.
Well, Javier was a soccer player that never missed practice. He never missed class. And those who knew him describe him as somebody who could make anybody laugh. It could be other students, his classmates, or even his teachers. One of his teachers talked about how it was actually so difficult to get the soccer ball away from him because that's just how fast he was. Tonight, many of those who knew him and loved him say that he has earned his wings, but they say it's still not something that he deserves. I'd like to bring into the picture two of his coaches, also two men who were speaking with us earlier. They spoke to the crowd about Javier. So you guys have known Javier for, especially you said that you had coached him since middle school.
Yes.
Tell me, what is that bond like?
You know, getting the kids at that early age, and at 13, he was my student at 13 over there. Great player.
All right, coaches, well, thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. So again, while it is a somber environment here at Horizon High School, they're still pushing through this entire tragedy with the happy memories of Javier that Javier left them with. Reporting live in Horizon, Adriana Candelaria, KFOX 14 News at 9.
El Paso is of one mind tonight as thousands descend on downtown and the east side to remember those lost in a domestic terror attack.
As a summer storm moved in, Fox 14 News at 9's Adriana Candelaria is live at Southwest University Park with a wrap-up of tonight's memorial that just wrapped up. Right, Adriana?
Robert, Erica, that memorial wrapped up about 10 minutes ago, just in time because that is when winds started to pick up. If you take a look at the stage right behind me, it is actually coming apart now. Now, the winds here have picked up drastically. This rose was actually blown our way from the center of the field. That is where they had some of the flower arrangements. And as you might be able to tell, it is the petals are pretty destroyed here as the wind is picking up. But that did not stop many El Pasoans. They stayed until the very end of the ceremony. Mr. De La Torre, we have some questions for you regarding an incident in San Antonio. Mr. De La Torre, there's several accusations saying that you hit Mr. Espinosa. Do you have anything to say, sir? Mr. De La Torre, anything to say on an incident that is reported in San Antonio with Mr. Espinosa? No comment?
The El Paso Times reports that De La Torre is the one who headbutted Socorro Superintendent Jose Espinosa.
You can see police are still out here investigating after a shooting happened here. We're going to go ahead and walk you through the scene right now. Now, right here, police do have the area taped off. Rain has caused flooding along the area. You can see here, it is a pretty big stretch that is underwater. Actually, right now, we are seeing a crew member here with New Mexico Dodge who is patrolling the area. As we told you, Stern Drive is closed right now. I'm being told to do a flip. Oh, let's go ahead and try it. All right, guys. It came out more or less. There we go. This is just some of the clothes that they have received within the past few days. Right now, there's refugees who just arrived to the church. Now they're sorting through these clothes to be able to put out a fresh outfit together before they go take a shower and continue their journey.